So I probably am a Nova Master again. Anyway, our next game, potentially our final game, is about to start. Are you guys ready? I am ready, because here we are with game number 4 between Finland and China Frantic. It is, so far, a 3-0 stomp for Finland A, as they have played out of their minds over the last few games. We're going into game number 4 now. It is China's last chance. They're up against the ropes. This is an elimination match. Well, it's not an elimination match, but it's a match point for Finland A. If they win this right now, they will knock China Frantic down to the lower bracket, and they will advance to the winner bracket finals. A lot on the line right here, and Finland are 1 game away from making it through. They're going to be feeling very good about themselves. The last 2 games have been very one-sided. The Finns have come into the series with a better strategy in a lot of these maps, a lot of the stranger maps. You know, seize the hump in the Golden Hill match, coming in with good strats, really thinking about what they want to do and just dominating Frantic in those matches. But we're now here on game 4, map 4, which is going to be Islands. And that means that it's not going to be as unusual of a map. There's not going to be any crazy strats that you can really pull out. The metagame for this map is a lot more set in stone. There's not going to be any variance in civilizations between the civs, and it's going to be much like game 1. It's going to be a big struggle for power rather than a case of running a better strat, for example. So let's go round and see who's on the flanks, who's in the pockets. It looks like on the west side of the map for the Finnish team, we've got Pike in the grey playing as the Vikings. In the pocket position, we've got Max playing in the teal as the Japanese. In the other pocket position for the Finland A, we have got Zuppy playing as the Huns in the blue. And on the east flank, we've got Velis playing as the Mongols in the orange. That's the Finnish team to the north of the map, and down to the south on the east flank, we've got 5CM, aka Vivi, playing as the Huns. In the pocket, we've got Whoop in the purple, playing as the Vikings. In the second pocket, you've got Jeffrey playing in the green as the Japanese. And on that left flank on the west, last but not least, we have Tim in the yellow, playing as the Mongols. Max here, going to be first to build the dock by the looks of things, getting that up very quickly. As the Japanese player, of course, saving all that wood on the lumber camps, on the mills, on the mining camps, and getting that dock up nice and early right there. But this map is different to the last ones. You know, Arabia is an all-out standard land map. Seize the Hump and Golden Hill are a little bit crazy. Seize the Hump is a land map. Golden Hill is a hybrid map. This is the first time in this series we're going to see a full water map. And the Chinese team, as I said before, they did swap Jeffrey in. They replaced Whoop before. But it's actually going to be Happy who will step out this time. And they'll rotate Whoop back in. So China changing their roster once again. Thank you very much to Arkulk1 for the sub. Welcome to the Church of Wololo, man. Let's get some hypes in the chat. Let's see some Wololo love for Arkulk. Thanks for the support, dude. I appreciate that very much. But yeah, in this situation, they're going to change their roster up once again. And, you know, the Finns, you'll never see them playing without this roster. This is their roster. This is the dream team. The China team, they have a couple more players sitting in the wings, just ready to rotate in. And I feel like maybe the China team aren't feeling like they're playing to the best that they can. And maybe they're not feeling like the team has what it takes. And so they're rotating players around. And maybe that can have an impact as well. But either way, Jeffrey is their star water player, I feel. He did lose his scout here, though, to the boar. Not such a big deal. I mean, obviously, not the desired outcome, but it's okay. He did pull the boar in with his scout, although the boar lures are a little messy, landing quite far from his TC. Jeffrey not really having the start he would like as the first Feudal Age upgrades begin to come in. The first Feudal upgrade will come in from Tim. He's going to be the fastest on the block as the Mongol player here, of course, grabbing the deer and the boar nice and fast, taking advantage of the hunt bonus. And of course, the second player up to Feudal will be Velis, the other Mongol player on the other flank. It's interesting that both of the Mongols are on the flanks here, which is really where you want them. They want to utilize their speed to get an early advantage on the water. Quickly following after that, we've got Pike and Zuppy. Zuppy in the blue, playing as the Huns in the pocket, and Pike on the left flank versus Tim. So Tim's going to be very fast, but Pike won't be far behind him. Unfortunately for Pike, his docks are right next to Tim. Tim's only done 3 fish, so we know that Tim's all in on the water here. Thank you very much to YME999 for the sub as well. Welcome to you to the Church of Wallalow. Thanks for the support, man. And thank you for getting those hypes in the chat. Got a little bit of a train now, 2 in a row. But yeah, Pike here going to be in a really difficult position to take on Tim. He's moving his fishing ships out the way preemptively, knowing that, well, there's Tim's docks, and he's going to be putting some galleys on my face in just a moment. So in this case, it's going to be tough for Pike, but at the same time, it's the same story for 5CM on the south side. We've already got Velis. I'm cycling through the players now, but we've already got Velis making the first 3 galleys, or 2 galleys. Fishing ships from 5CM within striking distance. And the question here is, what do the pockets do? You know, do the pockets go for the feudal aggression? You've got Viking Japanese pocket for the team in the south. You've got Viking Japanese pocket for, Hun Japanese pocket for the team in the north. And so, do they go for the faster castle time? Do they try and fish boom a bit? Or do they commit everything to the feudal age and go all in to try and win the water as quickly as they can? That's the question right now. We'll see how they decide to play it on both teams very shortly as Tim comes in, hitting the fish of Pike here. He finds them, he sniffs them out. Those fish stinking it up. And Tim has a keen nose. Thank you very much, Holy Heart, for the sub as well. Much appreciated, man. Welcome to the Church of Wallalow, Holy Heart. You'll fit right in with a name like that. Thank you very much for the sub. And yeah, I mean, on the south side, same thing's kind of happening. Velis chasing down those fishing ships of 5CM. Tim chasing down the fish of Pike, but now he's got himself stuck between Max and Pike here. 4 ships sandwiched as Max tries to bring out some more galleys as well. In the center of the map, Zuppy's coming over, and it does seem that everybody's going to be very committed to the feudal age in this one. We're going to see all of the pockets going 3 docks. 4 docks even for Jeffrey as the pocket player here. The Japanese player in the green going for the 4 dock committal. And we're going to see a lot of galleys coming out here. This is going to be a 1-unit warfest. Sub, you scrub. Well, that's 4 in a row. Can we make it 5? That's the question on my mind. But yeah, 5CM right here. Losing the fight versus Velis. And Zuppy's coming in too. So the Finns on the right flank looking dominant, to say the least. We've got the 4th dot coming up for Whoop now as he tries to recover a little bit. We might have to see 5CM getting the 4th dot coming up too. On the left side, how's Pike doing? How's Max doing? They're still chasing down some boats from Jeffrey, but there you go. Tim, with the landing. We spotted that out very quickly. Fortunately, before it was too late. And this is where China now are maybe taking a big gamble. This is a risk. Tim's going to throw away the water. He's going to lose his fishing ships. He's going to be pushed out of position. But he is going to make the landing attempt. It's a high risk, high reward kind of strat. Will Pike be able to scout it? His scout is alive. Tim making the plays, but Max, no, Jeffrey, not like this, Jeffrey, leading Max into the archery range. He's going to back away at the right time. If Jeffrey had gone any further, Max would have scouted that. And Max has scouted it. No way. Jeffrey giving up the game, and he's immediately telling his teammate, Max is immediately telling Pike, yeah, you've got a landing, dude. You got to deal with that. And Pike will react quickly with walls, with maybe a tower. There it is on the gold. And a barracks coming up very shortly. Gents 30, welcome to the Church of Wallalow. Thank you very much for the sub, man. 5 guys, we're on a bit of a train. Talking of 5 guys, I would kill for a burger right now. Thank you, gents, for the support. And yeah, Max now pushing forward, taking out the docks of Tim. And Tim, he's been spotted out. He's going to disrupt the wood line of Pike, but Pike's walled up. And he's fortunate because he does have a very easily wallable map. But Jeffrey just giving up the game right there. Now, it looks like Pike's going to take down the scout. He had a couple of low vills, but Tim was focusing down the wrong one. He could have got a villager kill there, but he didn't. On the right side, how's this going? Valise and Zuppy still fighting in a forward position, which says to me that they're winning this right now. And I'm really worried for the Chinese team. Tim has made this play, but he might just be throwing it away. This is going to be rough, as the Finnish team is likely to win the water now, as Tim is not making any boats. It's essentially 4v3 on the water. Jeffrey's got a good number of galleys, though. How much is in that one tree in Pike's woodline? This tree here is 90 wood. He only just started chopping it. The reason Ivic's asking how much wood is in this tree is because if Pike did cut through, obviously there would be a hole and Tim would be able to walk through. But he only just started cutting it down, so there was no over chopping there. There was no risk of a penetration from Tim. And Pike's all right. He's got a tower coming up here on the left side on the berries. No biggie. And if the Finns do completely win the water here, which it's looking likely, they will be able to... Well, actually, saying that, Valise is in a tough spot. Zuppy, come back. Zuppy, come back. Valise is 2v1 there. Got to be careful not to get outnumbered and overwhelmed. But if the Finns can win the water, they can start to fish boom a bit more as well to make up for, I guess, a little bit of lost berries, for example, on Pike's Island. Jeffrey up to the castle age. Max is also up as well. Max is going to beat him to the chase. Obviously, at this stage, Max doesn't have that much military, actually. 18 boats. Oh, never mind. He has got a lot of military. It's just spread out. I can't see it. Where is he? Military map. Ah, there you go. He's got 3 down here. He's got a bunch on the front. He's got some at the back. Oh, wow. There you go. I didn't see that one. Tim landing some archers in, but what a great play by Max. He gets a slam gate off. It's beautiful. I think that Tim can get out, though. Unless there's a tree here, I think Tim can get out of there. But he's done his best to try and wall him in. Sneaky play by Tim. I didn't see his transport ship. And, of course, it's very difficult. You will have to excuse me, because the minimap... Obviously, a tiny, tiny yellow dot is all I had to go on that Tim was making a landing. But he is indeed trapped. Nice play by Max as he reaches the castle age now. He might just drop a TC somewhere nearby, but he actually doesn't have enough stone with all these gates he's placed down. That's kind of thrown a spanner in the works, but he can, however, afford War Galley. He's going to run into Jeffrey, though. This is not good. Jeffrey got a lot of galleys here. Max is going to have to back away. On the right side, Whoop is pushing back. Valise and Zuppy overwhelmed here. China getting themselves back into this with some good water play, even in a 4v3 situation. War Galley's going to come in first for Max, but he still can't turn this. There's too many galleys for Jeffrey, and there's the constant threat, of course, of Jeffrey upgrading War Galley himself. Jeffrey's got Bodkin Arrow. Max does not even have fletching right now. This is going to be a clean sweep for Jeffrey in this engagement. I can't believe this, but China way ahead right now, as Max still doesn't even have fletching here. Gonna lose the villager on the wood line, and of course Jeffrey's gonna pressure this as much as he can. Pike's lost half of his island, and uh-oh, Tim's in. How did he get in? Maybe a transport, maybe a hole in the wall right here, I don't know. I don't care, but he is into that wood line. And Pike surrounded now. He's got war galleys to the north of him. He's got archers in his eco. On the right side, Whoop and 5CM with a massive number of galleys out. Outnumbering both Valise and Zuppy. And this Chinese team might just have what it takes to win the water map. And to be honest, I would have favored them in this matchup anyway, but I did think for a minute that they might have been throwing it away. Especially with Tim's landing being kind of dealt with so easily. But the Finns just don't have the water control. Even with Tim out of the picture on the water, they still just don't have the water control. Felice now with the War Galley upgrade. War Galley's coming in for everybody else too. Max obviously has his. Zuppy has his. Whoop's now running away. Now, this is kind of an interesting point to bring up, though. Whoop and 5CM were able to push back. They did have a greater number of galleys, but they were also slower getting to the Castle Age and getting War Galley themselves. But now he has it. He can turn this. Turn it, Whoop. He's got about a third more units here. He could just turn it and fight. Zuppy's got 20 military on the map. Whoop's got 30. He can go for it, but he's not gonna turn that fight around. 5CM's gonna keep pushing against Felice though, and this is where it gets dicey now. Castle Age comes in, War Galley goes up. You get an extra range on your War Galleys. You get Bodkin Arrow for an extra range again, and suddenly these galleys can do a lot of damage from the water. Suddenly these galleys can cripple your economy if you don't have water control. Pike now in a lot of trouble. Look at all these idols. He's surrounded by crossbows from Tim. He's got a single tower and a TC to protect his eco, but Tim coming in with a siege workshop, coming in with a stable, gonna get a mangonel, of course, gonna pressure that town center, and Pike can't get too close to the edge. If he goes too close to the north, if he goes too close to the west, he's just gonna be killed off by these War Galleys here. Pike will, however, get a siege workshop of his own, getting a good shot onto some of those crossbows, but there are the knights from Tim. Gonna go straight for the mangonel here. There is a monk out, I believe. Yeah, monk out, but the mangonel will go down. Tim, though, needs to protect his mangonel here. He will get the trade against the monk, but not a good trade overall for Tim there. Losing a mangonel and a monk for a monk. No. Killing a mangonel and a monk for 2 mangonels. Not the best trade, and he lost a knight as well. On the right side, 5CM and... Oh, this is a big army. Zuppy's in here with some navy, grouping up with Felice to try and take the fight versus Whoop. Whoop gonna be under a lot of pressure there, as 5CM's a little bit out of position, trying to bring his navy down, but in the meantime, he's fighting 2v1 is Whoop, making this a little bit difficult. However, still doing a really good job. He's just got the numbers. 21 military for Whoop on the water. Zuppy's got 26. Felice has just 11. In comes 5CM now as Max comes in from the north side. Zuppy as well. Looks like these guys are going to be broken. Even with that 2v1, Whoop will win that fight over there. And Jeffrey now has a lot of free reign over the west of the map. This fight will rage on the east as Zuppy and Max come in from the flank here. But they will break through on the right side. And that means they can push this all the way through, avoiding the flank play from the Finns. On the left side of the map, Pike now losing his docks to Jeffrey. He's holding on nicely. He's taken out the siege workshop from Tim. And everybody in this game is in the Castle Age, of course. But Tim now getting his eco going with a 2nd and 3rd TC, which is something that Pike won't be able to do. He simply can't build a 2nd TC here at the moment. There's just too many units on his island, too much pressure from Tim. No safe place to venture out and build a town center. So China's looking great. They've got a good 500 score lead. And Felice on the right side is backing away as he's outnumbered by 5CM and Whoop. They're pushing through the center of the map with Jeffrey as well. He'll find the remaining fish from Max. And China may just be able to get their point on the board here, but it's not over yet. It's not over until the fat lady sings. But Jeffrey's on the way up to the Imperial Age, so she might start singing soon. As Jeffrey has a huge number of boats. He's got more than... Well, I want to say more than the whole of Finland combined. Not quite, but it's close. And he's about to have Galleon. He's just got to be careful not to throw his army away because he is split. He's got a lot of units up to the north. He's got a lot in the center. But when they're split in half, he does leave himself open to the divide and conquer strat. Can find himself getting outnumbered. But right now, I mean, they're in a good position. The positioning is good. They're able to scout out the map, look for areas to harass the Finnish economy. And Jeffrey's halfway to Imperial now, while nobody else is even close to click. Well, they're not even clicked up, I mean to say. I want to check out Pike's side. I mean, Pike here is just so far out of this game at the moment. The Finns are essentially fighting this 3v4 now. With Tim, I mean, Tim's not really on the water either, but Pike's essentially out of the game. You know, he's got 1 TC. He's got very little food income. In fact, look at this. His TC's idle because he doesn't even have 50 food. He's trying to make more monks. He's trying to make more mangonels, and it's just to defend. I mean, even if he's able to kill the whole of Tim's army and get his island back. Well, in the meantime, Tim is already up to 3 TCs. Tim's going to be on the way to Imperial, and he's going to be able to secure himself a much bigger advantage. With that said, though, Max is coming in to harass Tim's eco a little bit. 32-minute wheelbarrow, indeed. Both for Valise and Jeffrey. They're both getting wheelbarrow quite late. But yeah, on the right side, you know, Jeffrey's Imperial now. The galleon upgrades coming in. They're killing the docks of Max. Whoop is, or 5cm, sorry, is killing the docks of Valise. Whoop's coming straight up the middle to kill the docks of Zuppy. At this stage of the game, if you've got the water in your favor, start killing those docks. Start preventing your opponents from having a solid amount of military production, and it's just going to help you to control the water even more decisively. 5cm is going to lose all of his, Valise even is going to lose all of his docks to 5cm here. So how does Valise do this now? You know, how does Valise get back into this? He needs to build more docks, right? But Valise has 34 wood in the back. Valise can't afford to build more docks. He's in trouble. So is Pike. And at this rate, with Galleon completing, Bracer completing, Chemistry on the way, Jeffrey, Whoop, 5cm, and Tim are on course to win this game. Imperial Age coming in for Whoop as well. That's going to be 2 of the Chinese players up to the Imperial Age here. As Jeffrey comes around to make a China sandwich. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is a big problem now. Jeffrey is going to cut off the reinforcements from Zuppy. Zuppy and Valise running to the right side as they are outnumbered by Whoop and 5cm as it is. And there's Jeffrey with his galleons. This is game right here. This is game. Whoop's now Imperial as well, and the Finns, they're clinging on to the hope that Zuppy will get Imp and Zuppy will be able to save the day, but Zuppy only has 17 war galleys right now versus the 45 galleons of Jeffrey. Jeffrey's killing off the economy of the Max here. Max is now clicked up to the Imperial Age, but they're so slow in comparison that they just don't realistically have a chance to get back on the water or retake the water. They're suffering eco loss as well during this period of the game where they can't defend their economies. They're surrounded by boats. It's painful. Pike has reclaimed his island though. Credit to him for that. He obviously was really up against it, to say the least. Tim's going to put a castle down here though. He's crazy. Might be better to just try and get the castle up. And yeah, exactly. Instead of being in the TC, just go for the castle. Just delay things even longer. Make it more awkward for Pike. Pike's got a second TC up now. But he's at 45 population, man. That is so low at this stage of the game. When Jeffrey's on 139, Whoop's on 133, 5cm's on 134, Tim's on 100, and Pike's at 45. In the north of the map, Valise is going to lose the remainder of his galleys. He wants to get back on the water, but he just can't. There's boats surrounding his island, and any attempt to build a dock is going to be shut down by the Frantic team. It truly looks like Frantic are turning this series around, and they're going to get their first point on the board in this game after a victory here. Now, I don't want to call it just yet, but it really looks like they've got this one in the bag. 5cm's on the way to Imp, so is Tim. Valise is going to be up to the Imperial Age at the same time as Tim, and Tim was the guy to do the landing here. Not to mention that Pike is nowhere near the Imperial Age, and there you have it. The GG is being called by the Finns. It will be China's first point here. They will not go out of the tournament, or well, down to the lower bracket just yet. They will hold on. Of course, it is still match point, but China now maybe a little bit of relief that they won't be clean sweeped. They won't be embarrassed. But they do still have a long way to go to get back into this series. It is 3-1 now. China still have to win another 3 games in a row to win this series. It's going to be a tough one, but clearly showing that they are the superior team on the water maps. Unfortunately for China, the rest of the games won't be water maps. You know, they might be a good water map civ team, but they aren't going to have water maps for the rest of the tournament, for the rest of the series. Game number 5 will be coming up next. It's going to be the home map of whoever is winning after game 3, which means that it will be the home map of the Finns. And there's no way that the Finns are going to be choosing a water map for game number 5. China still up against the ropes, still got a huge amount of way to go